For more than 10 years, a giant planet may have sat inside one of the most photographed patches of sky in astronomy, and nobody saw it. Not because it wasn't there. Because nobody was looking the right way. Then NASA's Webb telescope stopped trying to see it, and, researchers say, started reading its fingerprint in Starlight instead. To find that fingerprint, we first have to meet the star that hit it, 63 light-years from Earth, in the southern constellation Pictor, where a young star burns with the restless energy of adolescence. Beta Pictoris is only around 20 million years old, a newborn by stellar standards, younger than our own Sun by more than 200 times. Around it spins a vast disk of gas, dust, and rubble, tilted edge onto Earth like a blade of light. For 4 decades, astronomers have watched that disk for clues to how planets are born, and it has never stopped surprising them. The story begins in 1984 at Las Campanas Observatory, high in Chile's Atacama Desert. Astronomers Bradford Smith and Richard Terriel pointed a specially masked telescope at Beta Pictoris and blocked out the star's blinding glare. What emerged was the first photograph ever taken of a disk of planet-forming debris around another sun. It proved planets were still being built there, but it couldn't show what, or how many, were already finished. It took another 24 years to catch one of those planets in the act. In 2008, using the Very Large Telescope in Chile, astronomer Anne-Marie Lagrange and her team captured a faint point of light buried in the disk's glow. It was Beta Pictoris b, a gas giant several times the mass of Jupiter, orbiting roughly as far from its star as Saturn does from the Sun. For the first time, one of the disk's hidden children had a name. But Beta Pictoris b couldn't explain everything the disk was doing. In 2019, the same team turned to a different technique, measuring the tiny wobble of the star itself, tugged back and forth by unseen gravity. That wobble revealed Beta Pictoris c, a second giant planet, hugging far closer to the star than its sibling. 2 planets now confirmed. But the disk's strangest behavior still didn't add up. Then, in 2022, a new instrument reached the disk with a sensitivity no ground telescope could match. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, stationed nearly 1 million miles from Earth, aimed its infrared eyes at Beta Pictoris. Its images revealed something startling: a second, warped ribbon of dust astronomers nicknamed the cat's tail, evidence of a violent collision within just the last century. The disk, it turned out, was still full of secrets even the sharpest cameras couldn't fully explain. So researchers stopped trying to photograph the answer and started reading it instead. Every gas molecule in the disk absorbs and emits light at its own precise wavelength, a chemical barcode written into the star's spectrum. When Webb split Beta Pictoris's light apart, the pattern of its gas signatures didn't match what the 2 known planets could produce on their own. Something else was shepherding that chemistry, something no image had ever caught. Astronomers modeled the gap between Beta Pictoris b and c, testing what kind of hidden mass might produce that exact chemical fingerprint. Only one answer seemed to fit: a third giant planet, quietly clearing its own lane through the disk, tentatively named Beta Pictoris d. It may have been sitting inside the data for over a decade, blurred into one of the most closely studied dust disks ever imaged, mistaken for noise instead of a world. Webb hadn't found a new dot of light. It may have found a planet by the shadow of its chemistry. Beta Pictoris d, if confirmed, didn't need a camera to be found. It needed a spectrum, patience, and years of returning to the same star. That changes what discovery can mean. Astronomers now know a planet can be found in the chemistry it disturbs, long before it's ever seen. Somewhere in the countless other dusty disks Webb is watching right now, more worlds may already be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to read their barcode. If this story pulled you a little further into the universe, give it a like, share it with someone who loves a good mystery, and subscribe to Unearthed Facts for more true stories written in Starlight.